All the stringing is done now. It's quite a development from the simple box structure, isn't it? And it's time to block in the front end and the supplier with lumps of wood. So I'm going to mark on the shape. There's a double layer here on the side cheek, and I'm going to mark it on. And cut it out and stick it on. So that's the first one. Just going to double check that that was lined up correctly. It's rather difficult with a big lump. Yeah, that's fine. So let's cut that out and get it glued on. In this case, I think I will use some PVA glue and I'll clamp it, which will slow me down a bit. I'd really like to get this fuselage completed, if not sanded down. I'm not really concerned about the sanding, because while the model's in storage, by that I mean waiting for the other bits to be built, it'll get knocked about a little bit, and I'd rather leave a little bit of material on the model in the form of the balsa, rather than let it get, excuse me while I concentrate, let it get damaged and then have dints that I've got to build up and take out. So, simple job, PVA glue. This is an occasion where super glue really isn't up to it, is it? My opinion anyway. Too big an area. It's pretty nasty stuff, super glue as well. You want to be breathing it in if you can avoid it. And you should avoid it, folks. Keep away from children, as they say. So a liberal supply of glue, bit of scrap wood as a spreader. And I'm going to get that clamped on. I'll do the same for the other side, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to approach the bottom of the fuzz. As I hope you can see, the side cheeks are now glued in place. I've glued in this rear half bulkhead, A5, and you'll notice that this one and the front one have some small holes, and the small holes are to accommodate small magnets, which will hold in place this hatch, which I've started to fabricate and put together. And you'll see that the holes correspond to the holes in the bulkheads. Now, there's a slight issue regarding how this curves in. I'm not quite sure how that's going to blend, but we'll come to that. What I'm going to do now is take the magnets and get this thing working. And what you have to do is be very careful that the magnets don't permanently become attached to each other by gluing them together, and also, whoops, that you don't get them the wrong way around. So this is what I'm going to do. I better go and get the batteries, the magnets first. The magnets are easy to find because everything else is stuck to them, so take that off. They're the collets for the wheels, obviously. It's quite a comprehensive kit. I'm very impressed with it, actually. So, they are the small magnets, and they should fit into these holes, and they do. So, what I'm going to do is push them in, as they come off, and do the same with the rear one. Push them flush. Push them flush. I'm going to put some sellotape across each side and then put the corresponding magnet pair in so I know which way around they go. So let's do that. Actually, I've got a better idea. I'm going to use some double-sided tape and I'll show you why. I've had a second thought here, and what I've done is I've paired the magnets together by allowing them to attract in the correct polarity. So what I'll do is I'll take them off one at a time, making sure they're insured. In fact, what I'm going to do, lots of prevarication here. Wait a moment. Bang wallet. I'm going to mark them so I know which way they go. Black goes in. And that way they're going to stay the same. I was going to put some tape between the two and then do it like that, but I think this will work. So here we go. Probably get covered in black ink now, never mind. So that one needs to push in. I'm going to put a drop of super glue on and push it flush. There you go. Black again. Take it off. Drop of glue, push it flush. I'm just going to test that that's correct. Put these down onto the ruler so I know where they are. Done that before. That's locking nicely. That's the sound I want to hear. Let's do the same with the rear ones. Get them apart, a bugger. There you go. There you go. I can still see the black on there, so black. Bit of glue on the rear. Push it home. There we go. And the same with this last one. Bit of glue. Push it home. And hopefully we'll hear that nice clink. There we go. It's just what the doctor ordered, as they say. And that's the hatch. Now, once that's covered, you'll have a nice snug fit, hopefully. Next stage, after a coffee, is to get these planked over and get them formed. Starting to take shape. I've been looking at this hatch and I think I've spotted the first error on the kit. The hatch tapers in too much. As you can see, there's a gap here, and I think it should correspond at least to this inner strengthener on the fuselage. So what I'm going to do with the hatch is I'm going to take a piece of ply and shape it to fit that, to bring it out so it matches the actual fuselage shape, and that way we'll get a nice hatch that fits in properly. That just seems to me to be incorrect. So I'll adjust that the first error in the kit that I've spotted. Here's the easy solution to the problem, I think. What I'm going to do is mark on the point at which I think more material needs to be added, which is about there. I think that would work. There. Take that out. And why not just use the piece it came from? So if I push it in, go there, take it out. Actually, I'll measure how much I need to come out by. I'll make it 6 centimetres. So if I put that back, come out 6 centimetres or thereabout. 6 millimetres, goodness me, Mark. That'll give me more than I need, and then I can trim some off. I'll simply blend it in. Get that cut out, stuck on the side, and there we go. Issue solved. Not bad in a kit, really. Up to now, the only thing that I've found that's a little bit wayward, I don't know why that's come about. I think it's because this component here should be a little bit narrower. Never mind. Let's get that sorted out. That small issue's been resolved now. It didn't take a lot, actually. A little bit of filler there that I've sanded down to shape. And what I'm going to do now is I'm using the offcuts and the scrap pieces that invariably come with a laser cut sheet. There's always waste material, and I'm going to use that to make the hatch cover itself. I don't know how far I'll get with it, whether I'll need to bite into some of the other timber, but why not use it? It's silly not to, really. So I'm going to use the thinner parts at the bottom here, and I'll use progressively larger parts towards the centre where I can get away with it. So I'm just marking it off. I'll do these in situ, but I'll not glue them on, otherwise I'll end up fixing it to the fuselage. Been there, done that before. That would go like that. I'm going to put a little bit of an edge on it. Bolts are just everywhere. And I'm just going to tack it here. And there maybe. And as I say, I don't want to glue it to the thing. Yeah, that's okay, it's not glued. And now I'll secure it properly now. And when you're working like this, sometimes a little bit of kicker comes in handy. See your kicker, there is. Still fits on. Yeah, that's good. Now the rest I can do off the model. That way we're not going to glue it to the fuselage with scrap or excess glue coming into contact. that'll work. I'm not worrying about the overhang so much because I'll just file all that off, sand it off, cut it off once it's all glued up, so I'll be fairly coarse with this. There's no precise measuring involved. All I need to do is ensure I've got a nice straight edge. Doing it at a slight angle there. Yep, that'll work. Need to cut a new tip on this. I might need to replace this tube at some stage. There we go, and I'm just going to continue working all the way around like that. Then we'll give it a sand down and fit it in. Seems to be working. Another piece. Put a bigger piece on. And I'll carry on like that, and then you'll come back when I've completed it. That sound like a deal? Let's go for it. Welcome back. That's the hatch done, made out of scrap. I haven't obviously sanded it down yet. That's just to glue together. And there we go. You can see the surplus that needs cutting off here, but also the additional material that needs to be glued on here to blend it all in. I'll use the same scrap now to make the, I suppose this would be the dashboard area, and that'll have some glazing down it. I think I'm only going to use one of these front pieces, because that's all that's really necessary with the electric version, and that can be glued on. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but I've put some Velcro. This is just the hook part, and Roy will now be able to mess around with this and put the other part on, because once I've boxed the bottom in, you'll not be able to get to that slot for the strap. So I thought I'd put this in first to help him out when he comes to do that. I'm nice, really. There you go. I'll carry on boxing off. There's not a great deal to see there apart from me basically boxing in. I'll do that, and then we'll close this video and basically the build of the fuselage. The rest of it will just involve sanding down. Last part of the build as such, other than sanding it all down and getting it all cleaned up, is just about here. Little contact adhesive on this. There we go, and I think I will probably only be going with one of those blocks. We'll see when Roy gets his motor, we can try it out. So there we go, it's all blocked up. It just needs to be cleaned up, and I'll let that dry and stand outside and make a mess for the wind to blow away. No, sanding that amount of balsa and shaving would make a real mess. And there we go. So I hope you found that useful. I can highly recommend this kit. That's the fuselage. It's taken me 2 days, well, day and a half to build to that stage. And that's largely because, other than a little hiccup in the this hatch itself, everything's just slotted into place. I think I've had to open up 2 slots, 3 slots at the most. Everything's gone together really well. So a break from this model. I hope you've enjoyed the journey, and it might have even made you think about diving in to build your own balsa model. If you do, you won't regret it. There's nothing like the thrill of seeing your own creation take to the air. So thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you don't mind. Stay tuned. Bye for now.